I can just get my mouse to cooperate, which it's not doing right now, but it will eventually. I will kind of center this up. Well, for a lot of people, this is the end of the work week in this part of the world. It's Friday. It's 4:35 p.m., 16:35 if you prefer, approximately. And we get another writer today. This one is a little different, and you'll see why shortly. It's actually pretty good. Assuming my thing here takes it's right. It's called A New Decision and a New Direction. And the author of the November 2018 Daily Guides is a gentleman by the name of Reverend Arthur Johnson. The ones of you who've attended Creative Life Spiritual Center for a while will know that Reverend Arthur Johnson is a member of Creative Life Spiritual Center. And in fact, he will be speaking on the last Sunday of this month. He will be doing our Sunday service, and that will be on the, what is it? The 31st, I guess. Anyway, it's the last Sunday of the month, whatever that turns out to be. If you never heard Reverend Arthur speak, you're missing something. He's a good writer. In fact, he's published quite a few books. This is what the Daily Guides back in January of 2018 had to say about him. He's an author, he's a speaker, he's a thought leader, and he's an empowerment expert. And as an ordained minister and life coach, he's been serving the spiritual needs of individuals for more than 33 years, encouraging, equipping, and empowering individuals to maximize their potential for success and prosperity through the development of their mind powers is his passion. And this is the kicker. After 25 years as a Baptist minister, he discovered new thought and the teachings of science of mind. This is a true story. He discovered them through Creative Mind and Success, because that was the very first book he ever read by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And I know for a fact, it's not mentioned here, that he has read through that book countless times. Countless times. He says it totally transformed his thinking and his life. And you can learn more about him at Arthur Johnson, Arthur J. Johnson, JOHNSON, arthurjjohnson.com. And I encourage you to do so. And I really, really encourage you, whatever your faith is or no faith in the religious sense of the word, tune in to Creative Life Spiritual Center on the last Sunday of this month, and I guarantee that you will be given a treat. The talk will not be academic. Reverend Jesse S. can get academic at times. Reverend Lisa and I can sometimes lean on the academic. Reverend Arthur Johnson doesn't. He's directly to the point. And if this session today seems all about him, well, he wrote the day's thing, and really, he is an inspiration. Okay, so what does he quote from? He says, "A new decision and a new direction." And the first quote is from Frederick Speakman, who I didn't know. Decision determines destiny. Frederick Speakman, apparently, Reverend Arthur must have looked him up. He's an English naturalist and author. He spent most of his life in England, but he eventually, when he retired, he actually went to Barbados with his second wife, Kit, and that's where he passed away. Now, more to the point. Decision determines destiny, Frederick Speakman. That will give you an idea in the direction that Reverend Arthur goes. First quote, of course, is from This Thing Called You, and it's on page 85. "The spirit within me makes all things new. I expect more prosperity, more happiness, more harmony than ever before. I walk in the joy of ever increasing good." Don't get Holmes wrong. He wasn't just interested, like a lot of the self-help community, in your material prosperity. Yes, he believed it was good to have material goods. It was good to have plenty of money. But he also believed that you should do something good with that money. It wasn't just yours to hoard, it was yours to pass on. And as my old mentor Bob Proctor has often said, money is like blood. If it doesn't flow, what does it do? It congeals. The spirit within me makes all things new. I expect more prosperity, more happiness, more harmony than ever before. I walk in the joy of ever increasing good. And as I said, we sure are good. Now, this is Reverend Arthur. What would you do if you discovered that you were going in the wrong direction? Turn around and head the other way? He says, take a good look at your life. Which way are you going? Look at your financial, your mental, your physical, your social, and your spiritual well-being, and see where you are. Are you experiencing joy, peace, and satisfaction? Don't settle for less. Are you headed in the right direction? If you happen to be traveling the wrong way, turn around as quickly as you can. Make that decision now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now is the time. Why? Because your decisions are dictating your direction. And your direction is taking you to an ultimate destination, your life's purpose. He gets straight to the point. That's me saying that. Now, he gives us an example. A true decision moves you into action, and it shapes your destiny. Civil rights activist Rosa Parks said, "My only concern was to get home after a hard day's work." If you don't know who Rosa Parks was, go and read about her. Rosa Parks. I'm sure all of you do, but just on the off chance you don't, look her up. Heartfelt, her driving concern moved her to make a decision, which prompted her to act. Her decision, this one act of civil disobedience, changed the course of her life and history forever. And ones of you may not know, this was way back, I think it was in the 60s. I wasn't in the States, obviously, then. She was on a bus. There was a section for whites only, and she was sat there and she refused to move. The law at that time required her to sit in an area reserved for blacks. She could not sit in the area reserved for whites. She revolted. She did not follow the rules. She didn't follow the law. Sometimes civil disobedience is good. And as we say here, she changed the course of history, along with lots of other people, but it was a prime turning point in the history of how people of races other than white are treated in this country. Do you need to make a decision that could possibly change the course of your life forever? Listen to that inner voice. It's telling you what to do and which way to go. But this is the key. Listen and believe. Listen and believe. Have you the courage to follow it? Once the decision is made and acted on, your direction and life change immediately. Life takes on new meaning and new purpose. As I said, that was Reverend Arthur Johnson, November 2018, Daily Guides, Science of Mind magazine. It's a pretty straightforward message. It doesn't need any more elaboration from me. Wouldn't you agree? I think it's pretty good. I think it's straightforward, it's down to earth. But the thing is this, that you do have to stop long enough to listen to that inner voice. Reverend Jesse says, that if you stop and ask yourself questions, you will get answers if you stay silent enough long enough to listen for the answers. There's a practice that's called visioning. Visioning is where you go into a meditation, you ask specific questions, and you wait for the answer. It's different than visualization, where you actually picture what you want, you put as much feeling into it as you can, and you hold on to it. Visioning is different. It was brought into popularity, and I don't know if he actually created it, by Reverend Michael Beckwith, who was out in California at Agape Church. He was part of Science of Mind. Well, he still is Science of Mind, but he left the main organization, started his own church, Agape, and a lot of people said that's the best thing he could have done to help him and the world. So if you stop long enough to listen and you ask the questions, you will get the answers. I live my life by design rather than default. You know, the old saying is, not making a decision is in itself a decision. If you don't make a decision about where your life is going, the tides will just drag you along. The tides of life will drag you along with it. I live my life by design rather than default. It's a good affirmation. My inner guide emboldens me to make the best and highest decisions for my life. My inner guide emboldens me to make the best and highest decisions for my life. But that affirmation requires one thing. You have to listen. You have to be still and listen to your inner guide. And one of these days, we are going to do an inner guide meditation. Maybe I'll bring somebody on and do a demo of it, but we will do that one of these days. And before the month's out, I will read from Murphy, the Human Whisperer, the quote, dog unquote. That's all I got. Reverend Willis will be back tomorrow morning at 9:30. If you missed the session last night on sacred activism, I missed it because I had a family event that I had to attend. I couldn't get out of it. When I find out what went on last night, I'll give you a bit more information, and I encourage you, you can join in at any time. It's free in a sense. If you want to give a suggested donation of $20, it's per session, and the whole thing, eight sessions is $150. So you get $10 discount. So take care, especially the heat is in lots of parts of this country. If it's not, there's storms going on. Take care. If you're in a part of the country that's suffering from heat, from storms, whatever it is, take care of yourselves. Make sure that you're safe. If other people are in need and you're able to help them, reach out and help them in whatever way it may be, even if it's a listening ear. So take care. Until next time, namaste.